Hi everyone, my name is Adam Absalom. Today I would like to share with you about the classification of antibiotics. And this topic it is more important because understanding the antibiotic classes it helps in selecting the appropriate drug that might be more likely to be effective against certain infection according to the susceptibility pattern. So, going directly to the classification of these antibiotics, they mainly classified into four groups, and these groups including looking the effect on the bacteria, and those which are looking the range of coverage and mechanism of action, and lastly the chemical structure of the antibiotic. So starting with first part or first group or first classification, which is based on effect on the bacteria. So in effect of bacteria, the antibiotics they can be classified as whether they are bacteriostatic or bactericidal. And this, in shortly, we can explain that the drug they work best by disrupting the essential processes or either kill the bacterium or slow down the growth of bacterium. So depending on this effect, an antibiotic is said to be bactericidal or bacteriostatic. And also for the case of bacteriostatic, these antibiotics they are mainly inhibit or preventing bacteria from multiplying, but those which are bactericidal, they directly kill the bacteria, and there's direct killing of the bacteria. And for those which are bacteriostatic, they just prevent the multiplication of bacteria, and this enable to give the chance of the cell body immunity to fight against that particular bacteria. So the other classification is based on the coverage or the range of coverage, and this we have also two groups, and this include the narrow spectrum antibiotics and those which are broad spectrum antibiotics. So depending on the range of bacterial types that it affect, antibiotic may be classified as narrow spectrum or broad spectrum. So for the narrow spectrum antibiotics, these are active against a selected group of bacterial types. And for our case, we have those which are gram positive and gram negative bacteria. So it can just target those gram positive only or gram negative only bacteria. This is for the case of narrow spectrum antibiotics. But we have the other part, which is broad spectrum antibiotics, and these are active against a wider number of bacteria. It can be included the gram positive and gram negative bacteria. So we have the other classification, which involve the mechanism of action of these antibiotics. So in mechanism of action, mainly we are looking for the main target of these antibiotics. So antibiotics have different bacterial target or act on the same target but in different places on a bacterial cell. In principle, there are three main antibiotic targets in a bacteria, and these include the cell wall or membrane that's surrounding the bacterial cell, and also the machinery that are the nucleic acid, which include the DNA and the RNA, and also we have the machinery that produce protein, and these are ribosome and associated protein. So these are the main target of which the antibiotics act. So we have the last part of which they finalize this classification of antibiotics, which is the chemical structure of the antibiotics. And this is very also vital in selecting the appropriate drug of for treatment of certain infection associated with bacteria. So in classification of based on chemical structure, we have those which are chloinolone, and this sometimes regarded as fluoroquinolone. But also we have the cephalosporins, and we have the penicillin group, macrolide, and we have also the carbapenem. So these are just based on a chemical structure of the antibiotics, and these also they have they can be taken from this narrow and broad spectrum antibiotic based on looking this chemical structure of the antibiotic. Thank you very much. Welcome to the next lecture, which will have the details on this classification. Thank you.